Welcome back to some more Disco Elysium. In the last episode, I finished up by being able to knock down this door, so it's going to be pretty exciting to go in there and figure out what is hiding in there. But first, I do need to talk to Clausier now that I have Kim back with me. But before even that, I would like to activate some thoughts. That way they can start the countdown for that. So we had the Wumpty Dumpty Dom Center. Then we had the Precarious World. I've already read all these. I think I'm going to go ahead and... Well, I haven't read this one yet. The Anti-Object Task Force. Take a look at your hands. See how bruised they are? See those little scars? This is Exhibit A. The material world is holding you back. Containers, mailboxes, doors, chairs. They are all your enemies. Always have been. Atoms themselves are in on the conspiracy, forming shapes and structures that you hate. You are energy stuck in a body. You are spirit trapped in matter. Break free. Beat up the lamppost. Let it know just how much objects suck. I kind of like that one. I feel like it fits my character. Just a little mad. So let me unlock a slot here. And then let me do the Anti-Object Task Force. Let me internalize it. Excellent. And now let me talk with her.
Hello, officer. What brings you up here again?
Legs crossed, she leans back against the railing. I found your buoy. It was empty. Just seawater.
Oh.
Did you take the documents?
No, of course not. As I said, it would have been too risky for me to use those documents anyway. My employer gave them to me. In truth, I should have destroyed them.
She doesn't seem to be lying. She's genuinely spooked by their disappearance.
Perhaps the people who are after you took it.
They couldn't know where I put it. I'm absolutely sure I was not followed. And I've told no one but you. You mentioned seawater? I was worried I'd been too careless with the latch. The documents were probably just washed away.
She waves her cigarette.
The words, washed away, sound distant and strange suddenly. Somewhere far away, a dog barks.
Let's get back to those lies you told.
Lies?
It's unclear what she intended to say.
Yes, we demand she be punished for deceiving us. We demand her anxiety. We demand her fear.
Kim, why have we not arrested her yet?
There may be grounds here, at least for an extended detention.
A little whimper. The young woman hears you. She's looking around.
What if I told you you're under arrest, Miss Orion Disco Dancer?
But I haven't done anything. Anything illegal.
She backs up against a railing with a forced smile on her face.
Failure to aid a police investigation. She purposefully misrepresented information crucial to the case. Fucking mind games. Enough. That's right, gang. Stern and merciless now. Stern and merciless as we reel her in.
You're not playing these mind games with me anymore. You're coming in.
The lieutenant produces a pair of handcuffs.
Please no.
Her eyes become round with fear as she tries to back off further.
I think I know who did it. Who shot Lely. I can tell you. I can help you.
What do you know? Who shot him?
She's silent for a second, as if looking into herself for certainty. Then, in a hushed voice, she says, gearing up for this betrayal is hard for her.
Ruby.
Why do you think it was her?
She has this thing for me. Ever since I met her and the boys downstairs. She's been pretty frank about what she wants.
What she's saying is... sex?
Sex?
And more. I made the mistake of confiding in her. I told her I was on the run. She started protecting me. It became an unhealthy relationship. When I started spending time with Lely, she told me to end it. Said there would be shit if I didn't. It was not a good meeting. We stopped talking after that, but...
I don't understand. What exactly in your relationship made you think she is romantically interested in you?
The lieutenant sounds incredulous. He still has the cuffs in his hands.
She said she's in love with me. She even asked me to run away with her when I told her I'm a fugitive. She started developing notions about our relationship.
And you led her on?
The lieutenant narrows his eyes.
A little. I was flattered, you know? But then I had to let her off, and it was not easy. I came to regret being friendly with her. We maybe kissed, nothing more.
I'm gonna come out and say it, okay? I'm not a big fan of Clausier. She's annoying. She's like one of those, I guess, literature majors. She's a literature major. You know, they just puff on their cigarettes and they think they're intellectually superior to everybody and they act like they don't care, like nihilistic. That's kind of how she's acting. It's kind of annoying.
Yes, but what was their relationship outside this unequal power dynamic?
What was your relationship like before the conflict?
We spent a lot of time together, listening to the radio and such. She had great milieus, and she was good company. I was sorry it had to end.
What was that question about? She's feeding her friend to the wolves here. It also has startlingly little to do with arresting her, you suddenly realize.
This is just sensationalism and guesses.
I know what it sounds like. That's why I didn't want to tell you before. But she knew what had happened when I came downstairs.
She raises her eyes to meet yours.
Somehow, she knew Lely was dead. She wasn't surprised at all. When we came up here, she was calm as a stone, too. She cleaned it all up like she had a plan.
This is a familiar theory. You had it too, remember? Could it be that Ruby was covering up after herself? The lynching? Yet again, you're coming up with this. The worst thing is, it may be true.
When Ruby said there would be shit happening if you didn't end your relationship with the deceased, was she threatening you?
She came over one night, drunk, said she'd turn my life into a living hell. I've been threatened before, so I can tell when someone knows how to do it. And she's a pro. She must be, to keep the Hardys in line. I tried severing ties with her after that. I thought it had worked, but...
She looks through the window of her room.
Some of that fear is still with her. She exhales sharply. What are you talking about? She's afraid you'll arrest her.
And how could she have killed him?
You've been trying to kick that door down, right? Maybe it leads downstairs.
She points to the barred door next to the window.
She could have come to the roof through that, then taken the shot right here, where I stand. It was dark outside. I wouldn't have seen her.
Then slipped back downstairs without anyone noticing. That is possible.
Interesting theory. Did she know that door exists? Had you been out there with her?
Yes, of course. She's been up here many times, jacking private stations off the ring antenna. She used to come here to drink on the roof with me, before it got weird.
Okay, that's it for Ruby.
Okay, and what? Arrest the liar now. Why? She told us some pretty interesting things there. Don't arrest her. Push her a bit more, but then let her off. That Ruby theory was solid. And she's beautiful.
That's all good, but I think we should still take you in, just in case. And I'm gonna step closer.
Still? After all this, sir, please. It's a shitty world, and I know I'm shitty too. I know.
Her hands turn into a fist, slowly crushing the cigarette she's still holding.
But I don't deserve to be sent to the moral intern and ground into paste just because I disturbed the sanctity of accounting. That's some multinational...
She's gearing up for a last stand. This is it.
What do you deserve then?
I don't know. To spend my days with smoke, drink and dance, wallowing in shit. Just like everyone else.
What other option do I have?
You have those station calls, right? Where I have to show up at the station or I'll become a fugitive. You can write me one. You don't have to take me in right now. I promise I won't go out anymore at night. I'll be right here. I know you can do that. Just let me come in on my own. In 2 months, Or maybe even 1 month. That's all I need.
You do have the form.
He looks at your ledger.
That's it. I'm calling it. Kim is beyond compromised. Definitely, sire.
What will have changed in 2 months or 1 month?
Everything could change. This city, the extradition rules, the people after me could be in jail. Or maybe Revachol.
There is desperation there, in that silence. A cornered animal looking for a way out.
Maybe Revachol could be free. I could be tried in a free Revachol. An independent state that doesn't hand its detainees over to the moral intern.
A free Revachol. There is a low, distant rumble on the motor tracks. A great machine shaking the pillars down south. Electricity runs up your spine.
I find that hard to believe, miss.
The handcuffs jingle in his hands. What was that feeling?
It's coming.
I also find it hard to believe.
Don't. The world can change. It has changed before.
She looks at you, frozen to her spot.
That's not the answer she was hoping for. Thought that you were some kind of patriot or communard, did she? This was her last card. There is nothing more she can say. The final decision is yours. You alone stand on the throne of your mind.
I've made my choice.
She looks at you in silence, her face filled with fear, lips parted. Wait. If you arrest her, Kim will have to transport her. You'd be without your partner for the rest of the day. Shut up. He's making a decision, and it's his to make.
Okay, so I would love to arrest her, but I think it is a premature arrest. There are still a lot of leads I need to follow up on, such as the Ruby lead, and I also have to check the other locations around town for possible other spots of the shooting, so I don't want to make any premature decisions. I'm going to say I'll let you off the hook for now. Don't make me regret it.
I won't, sir.
She exhales, shaking visibly, then collects herself. Let's talk about you and Ruby again.
She nods, then nervously pulls on her cigarette.
That's all.
Okay.
Let's change the subject for the time being.
She slowly lights another cigarette and steadies her breath, as if in the presence of some tiger.
So there's a shivers check here. It's a white check, so I could always retry it. Let me leave. It's snowing. When does it stop snowing? I have no idea. Let me put a couple of things up here. And then my clothes. I know I have some shivers clothes. See, that gives +1, but I refuse to take off the horrific necktie, so I'm not putting that on. Oh, let me put my conceptualization stuff back on, actually. Electrochemistry, half-light. I think I already have my shiver stuff on. Maybe? Pain threshold and half-light. Okay, well, I think that's all I can put on. I'm just gonna try this check. I can always come back and retry it.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
So I'm gonna look up to the gray sky.
Nothing happens. Absolutely nothing. A mass of droplets above the planetary body, colorless, merging into one another, scattering snow over the city and the sea.
At least this will register it in my journal. That way I can remember to try this check again.
The sky is low and cold. You hear the distant murmur of motor connections somewhere south of here. That is all.
So, superstar law official. What were we talking about?
Let's return to this later. Okay, let me finally investigate in here. Alright, interesting. There's a tiny hole in the wall. You see a bedroom on the other side. Ah, so this is Classie's bedroom, and there's a hole, so somebody was spying on her in here.
You can almost see the shape of a man and a woman writhing inside, bathed in drug sweat and dirty linens. Bottles lie around everywhere.
I think I can see into Classie's bedroom from here.
You can barely see through. Better not to jump to sensationalist conclusions here.
He leans closer to inspect the peephole.
The footprints on the floor, however, definitely suspicious.
He points to the marks nearby on the floor.
Boring footprints. I want to jump to sensationalist conclusions.
What were those people doing in there?
You lean closer to the peephole instinctively. I bet they're doing something quite unnatural there. Sensationally unnatural.
Alright, so there are footprints here.
You clearly see footprints in the downy carpet of dust covering the workshop floor.
Jackpot. These, unlike everything else here, are new.
I wonder if it's going to be similar footprints, the one where one of them is smooth and the other is not, like the 8th person, aka Ruby, at the scene of the hanging. Someone's been here within the last week or two.
3 weeks maximum from the dust coverage. It could easily have been 1 week too. You know, officer.
He looks at you.
This is good. He likes it. There's a little smile there, in the dark of the workshop.
It was a stereo investigation after all. It has now converged with our main investigation, adding a new fact to consider.
Okay, so that completed Explore the Whirling Secret Passages, so I bet this is going to connect to that door downstairs in the kitchen. Interesting, okay. Okay, what does this mean?
It means someone snuck through what seems like a secret route, leading to the roof. The roof from where you can shoot our victim. This is significant. These prints, officer, could be the prints of our killer. And if not, at least they're a good argument for this Ruby doing it, to present to Titus.
I'm gonna heal up here just in case. Let's have a closer look then.
Large prints, most likely made by boots. The size is hard to determine. Sole could be bigger than vamp. The soles have left a pattern, uniform, horizontal lines. Shoe size is 41 to 42, maybe 43. It could be a large-footed woman or a small to average-footed man. This is, unfortunately, the worst, most vague shoe size there is.
This print doesn't look like the odd-soled print we found at the hanging, Kim.
The size looks about the same, actually. They're not the same shoe, but they could be the same person. I wouldn't rule out Ruby coming here yet. This isn't an argument against her. People change shoes, you know? But it's not an argument for her either.
This doesn't look like the worker's boots from the hanging, does it?
No. These little horizontal lines are different. They look custom-made to me. Or some kind of foreign print. Hard to say. Still a boot, though.
Alright, let me get up.
Everything around you is quiet. The prints crisscross the workshop floor.
Let's move on. Okay, interesting. The pinball machine has been taken apart and gutted. So +1 empathy, +1 hand-eye coordination. That's good. I'm missing a lot of hand-eye coordination checks, so it's nice to get a little bonus here. Let me take a look. This is the pinball maker's coat. This dusty old coat used to belong to someone named Mr. Knifelocks. The name is stitched into the silk lining. It smells of moths and ancient engine grease, but fits you perfectly. A strange, lonely emotion fills you when you tighten the belt around your waist. Schematics for a pinball machine. Futurism themed. Boxes and tools and replacement parts line the shelves. Small windows taped shut with black plastic. You can't see outside. Okay.
This seems to be some kind of workshop for fixing up pinball machines a long time ago. Everything is covered with dust now. The lieutenant looks around the dusty, crowded room, inspecting the tools on the shelf.
This used to be a pinball workshop.
Looks like it. I'm guessing Martinez North 22 used to be a pinball arcade before it became a hostel. There are machines left over.
He taps his foot.
A creak. Some dust falls off a shelf.
Downstairs in the hall, next to the main door. One of them even works. I've seen one of the hearties bang away at it.
Remember the dice maker? Then that means...
Whirling in Rags was once the East Delta Pinball Arcade. This is all left over from that.
Ah, yes, as the novelty dice maker said. This has absolutely nothing to do with the case, I'm sure. But I do like a nice little connection.
But then it went bankrupt. Your skin crawls from making the connection.
Could this mean the Whirling in Rags really is part of the doomed commercial area?
If that's true, then our cafeteria manager is not going to like it. We should tell him what we found up here, omitting that suspicion. He does not appear to be the kind of man who likes his establishment to be part of a neighborhood ghost story about bankruptcy.
Stupid superstition. But still, it would be interesting to see what the cafeteria manager thinks of this. It's not a ghost story. It's a curse, and God ought to be made knowledgeable so he can perform counterspells.
Doesn't look like that pinball machine will ever get fixed.
At some point, 20 years ago, 15 maybe, before pinball went out of vogue.
Okay. I have my caps lock key on but for whatever reason my character's not running. It used to be that if I have my caps lock on, he just automatically runs, so I don't know what's going on. The pinball is white Diora. The back glass shows a female figure in mourning. A note, NB, the spare key is tied to the bush outside the corner room window. $5, nice. There is a pinball machine here, looks like.
Over there, in the corner.
The pinball machine.
Not just any pinball machine. This is the pinnacle of pinball. Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats. It's lit. You can't wait to get your hands on it. Lit, a phrase almost synonymous with the Insulindian pinball scene. Any pinball scene, really.
Kim, are you seeing what I'm seeing?
The pinball machine. Gordy's Goats, a classic.
Wait, you've played it?
A little.
Feels like a lot. Too much to play it again.
Let's take a closer look.
Ah, great.
Cornelius Gordy and the Mountain Goats reads the golden lettering on top of the back box. There's a small column of text underneath. The machine is coin-operated. Get the game on, Fingerboy. Those flippers are ready.
I'm gonna lean in closer to read the text.
Above the painting of a mustached man climbing a hill, a column reads, inspired by the legend of Cornelius Gordy, taken on the world's tallest peak, Corpus Muindi. The Mesk legend holds that when the nation is in danger, heroic Gordy shall return and save his people.
Let me inspect the playing field.
The theme of the game is to explore Gordy's climb through the perspective of goats and to ascend to the top of the mountain in a time of trouble. The peak of the mountain is at the top of the playfield. All the balls have small goat icons on them and represent the goats as they race up and down the mountain. Areas around the playfield represent Gordy's climb, places he was said to have camped, which the goats can discover. Get them to the summit.
Let's play for $1 or $1.
It takes a while to get into a rhythm, but pretty soon you're able to keep 3 goat-faced balls in play with relative ease. Go, go, Fingerboy.
I feel sorry for the goats. If they only knew the kind of guy old Cornelius really was.
Wait, what kind of guy was he then?
The kind of a guy who uses the word savages a lot when recounting his travels. A masked nationalist.
A racist mountaineer?
An avid huntsman too. He was often photographed in his dining hall, surrounded by wall-mounted hunting trophies, from every continent.
Technically, the human beings are at the top of the food chain, so...
He also hit his wife and kids. Other people's kids too. Sometimes pets. Hateful little man.
But you seem to be having fun.
I'm pretty good at this.
Your game is definitely improving. The jolly goats are flying all over the board. And although a few plummet to their deaths, you're never left with less than 3. Suddenly, a special passage leading to the summit slides open at the top of the board. This is where the balls need to go.
Let me concentrate and aim for the narrow passage.
Maneuvering a goat ball into a position for a perfect hit isn't easy. More fall to their deaths. But finally, the opportunity presents itself. One of them gets through. Tiny hammer shatters something inside the machine. Something glass. An ampoule? The words "pale rupture" light up on the speaker panel, and the machine starts filling with a thick, milky fog. Something's happening.
Congratulations. This is where the game ends. It's a cheap way of getting more money out of the players. A stupid, nihilistic finale.
There's so much fog, you can barely see anything. Some is actually leaking out of the machine, and one by one, your goats start slipping, disappearing into the milky nothingness. This can be navigated. The balls leave almost imperceptible disruptions in the fog. Use them to calculate where they hit next. You're down to your last goat, going mostly by sound. Eyes are useless at this point, but that goat is something special. 5 times you snatch him back from the jaws of
Edit
death.
that out.
You're in a perfectly balanced system where neither you nor the pal is able to get the upper hand. This could go on forever.
Kim, it can be done, just watch.
I am. I've seen it before. Played it too. You will eventually make a mistake and then it's all over.
Unfortunate, this is only 3%, and it's a red check. Well, might as well try it.
How if you can't even see it? The last goat plummets into the fog with almost suicidal glee. It killed itself to spite you. There goes nothing, finger boy.
Well,
The machine is dead and silent. It needs serious maintenance before anyone can play again.
that sucks. I wanted to win that. Yeah, my character is not automatically running anymore. I don't know why. Oh well. Yeah, so here's the door. It does connect through.
You see a heavy steel door with a prominent dimple lock. It's painted blue.
This door is connected to the one upstairs, but how do we get through?
There must be a key somewhere. Probably somewhere in the whirling. It's not too important. We can get in and out using the roof door.
Okay, so I can't go through right now. There we go, now I'm
This
running.
small elevator is dimly lit by a bulb that's been glowing for ages. The latticed cage is open, inviting you to step inside. Smells of nougat and sweat. Your head brushes up against the ceiling. There is a control panel to your right, and just enough room for 2 people to fit in. The maintenance card under the control panel reads, Last maintenance, 10th July, 88. This elevator must have been used to transport pinball machines to and from the upstairs workshop.
I'm gonna look at the controls.
There are large rectangular buttons, monter, descendre, and an international call for emergency assistance. That third one appears to be broken. A small steel plaque reads Halter 800. Halter is a Koningsteiner lift company who went out of business a long time ago.
It says last maintenance was in 88.
That it does. I say, let's brave it.
This elevator was last maintained in the future?
No, it was maintained in 88 of the previous century.
So it's not a message from the future?
No, I think the bureaucrats just forgot about this backroom elevator after the revolution.
So it was mostly pinball machines riding this elevator.
Seems so, although it's pretty quaint for a freight elevator.
He taps on the guttering light bulb. It's golden in the dark. Alright, let's go up. Okay. Very good. So let me go around. Let me see if I can talk to her about these footsteps, actually.
I was just thinking, what a nice day for questions pertaining to a murder investigation.
Maybe here. I need to talk to you about your room again.
Yeah?
That door there. Did you know it leads to a downstairs elevator?
Oh. Do you think Ruby could have gotten in that way? To the roof? She could have come up through there.
It's possible.
She keeps looking at the door with a worried expression. The wind ruffles her hair.
There's a peephole on the other side, looking into your bedroom.
A peephole? You mean like a hole in the wall?
Yes, looking into your bedroom, miss.
The lieutenant points to her window. The unmade bed is visible through the glass.
Okay.
A jitter of fear and disgust moves through her body, beginning from her shoulders and ending in her hips. The cigarette tastes foul to her now.
Do you think this is somehow related to Ruby passing through there?
We don't know at this point.
Okay. Do you have any way of knowing how long it has been there?
Unfortunately, no. But if I were to guess, long enough. The perforation is under the bookshelf on your wall. It should not be hard to cover with some tape.
If it was recent, who do you think made it? Ruby?
It's very hard to believe that she'd do something like that, but... No, I don't know. I just don't know about this, officer. She could have. Maybe she did. Or maybe it's been there for a long time. The local kids use it or something. Was there anything else back there?
There were tracks on the floor. They're recent.
Huh. This isn't good.
It's an old pinball workshop, the room back there. This place used to be a pinball arcade.
Okay. I'm glad someone's had fun.
That's all for now.
Mm-hmm.
She flicks the ash from her cigarette absent-mindedly.
She's lost in thought. Eyes narrowed. Forehead furrowed.
I have other questions for you.
All right.
Let's return to this later. Alright, let me get out of here. So it doesn't look like I can inspect the hole from this side. I thought maybe that would be a possibility. Let's go downstairs. There are more people to talk to down there. Let me talk to this guy. I didn't talk to him yet.
I couldn't possibly shower thanks on you as enthusiastically as my wife has, but I am grateful for your assistance, officer.
He tries to play it cool, remain professorial, but inside, this man is itching for some news on those traps.
So I checked all the traps.
Good. Okay. And?
And one of them was empty.
Completely empty?
The cryptozoologist's eyes grow wide. Yes, there was nothing in the trap. No locust, no phasmid.
No locusts? No phasmid either?
That's not ideal, but...
He rubs his chin.
It just means the Insulindian phasmid is even more clever than we thought.
She's engaging in a well-known self-deception called motivated reasoning. You should correct them.
Of course, more clever.
You're dealing with a subject near and dear to their hearts. It might behove you to tread lightly.
Yes, the Phantasmadeia picked off the locusts and escaped. This is good news, though we'll have to reconsider the design of the traps, make them more secure.
Another trip to the reeds.
Yes, that's exactly what it is. What a deft hunter, this phasmid.
Of course. Be sarcastic. Unless you have an alternative hypothesis you'd like to venture, mine stands, okay?
He misinterprets your words.
Actually, no. Excuse me for getting emotional. This is a big deal for us. You've helped us twice now, and brought some great news too. My gratitude and The gratitude of the Société Cryptozoologique de Ravachol is yours.
Heartfelt gratitude. But does it feel like closure? What really happened?
Thank you, it's an honor. We should probably return to our main investigation here. This has been refreshing, but...
Helping cryptozoologists isn't really a priority for our organization, is it? The lieutenant looks out the window, impatiently. Damn it, Lieutenant. Have you no intellectual curiosity?
All right, 97% here. Develop an alternative theory about the missing locusts.
Consider the way the empty trap was disturbed, as though shaken. Most likely the hands of a young person. Hands small enough to fit inside the trap, too. You should ask the red-headed boy, Kuno.
I think a little hooligan called Kuno may have stolen the locusts.
A little hooligan? But what would a child want with bags?
Oh, my dear Morel. You've been an old man for too long. Kids love to torment insects almost as much as they love to torment old folks.
A shadow of worry passes over the woman's face. I'll talk to the little gremlin and see if anything comes up.
Delinquents. My favorite.
It doesn't sound like it's really his favorite.
Oh, you've been such a dear to us. Please, let us know whatever you turn up. I have a feeling we're getting so close.
Well, I see you've got all the help you need. I'll see you tonight at my place. Let's play suzerainty, but no more field trips for me.
After this is your last chance to talk to Gary.
Really, Gary? We're getting somewhere here. I'd love to play suzerainty, but...
The woman's voice is a little shaky suddenly.
Lena, I'm sorry, but you're not getting anywhere. It was some kids. I know the little mutants around here. Leave anything out in the open and they'll steal it, even if it's bugs.
He looks at his tea.
Morel, it's been fun, really, but I need a bath and I have deliveries to handle. When this tea is done, I gotta run.
No need to apologize, Geary. You'd be more than helpful. We'll have to take a rain check on that game of suzerainty today, though. We're gonna follow this through.
The first man to break formation is always a blow to leadership. This is bigger than he lets on.
I'll get going.
Anti-object task force. Behold, the anti-object task force has assembled. God's avenging angel, arrayed against the lower emanations of the darkened one. Shoe racks, tape recorders, motor carriages, and doors. So many doors. You're not just pounding it all to pieces. You're reforging the universe, from the anvil of the heavens to the worms below. Indulge in it. Be bold. Have an impact on the shape of creation. Out of the furnace of your rage. A new reality. Also, you should trash your room again.
Attacking physical objects heals damage. +1 pain threshold. All physique learning caps raised by 1. Okay, so I was just complaining that there was like no option to actually heal yourself besides items, but now I guess I can attack objects for that? Like what, like kicking the mailbox outside or something? Okay, let me open up another slot here. And I think I want to do that other one that I was looking at earlier this episode. The Precarious World. That one seemed interesting to me. Yeah, I already read this one. Let me internalize it. Okay, good. Let me talk to Gary. It said he's going to leave after this, so let me make sure there's nothing left on him.
Always a pleasure to see an officer of the law. I mean, officers.
Okay. Thank you for your cooperation. I think I already exhausted the chat with him.
Hey, was there something you needed?
Gart, I saw another thing at the whirling.
Another thing. Great. I love those.
Clausier, in room 3. She nicked the phone line.
Why? No, fuck it. I don't want to know. I don't want to know why these degenerates do what they do. I thought we had one good guest in the building.
He really doesn't like it being classier.
Yeah, I bet you didn't want it to be her.
What's that supposed to mean? Fuck you, buddy. She's not my taste. Good thing she pays for her stuff on time. I'll forward her the bill and be done with it.
Wow. She really isn't his taste. Her spell hasn't spread here.
Now, was there anything else? I have like 4,000 coasters to stack. And then I need to wash dishes because it turns out I have to do that too now.
Gart, what if I told you I got into the back room behind the blue steel door?
Oh, okay. Well, I did hear you make noise back there, so good for you.
He controls his excitement well.
It takes a lot of willpower not to ask. Obviously, he's been wanting to know what's behind the door.
Aren't you gonna ask me what's back there?
Okay, what is back there?
Pinball machines. A pinball workshop.
Ha! I knew it. I've always wondered where those machines by the door came from. And they told me there was some kind of pinball thing here too. I knew it. Were there any back there? In working order, I mean.
Why? You want to play? Because I might be up for a game.
No, I was just wondering if you found pinball machines there.
He appears to be making a calculation in his head.
He was wondering about something business-related, about how much money he could make off one.
If you're thinking of selling those pinball machines, I want a fat cut. Sea-suit shit. I'm gonna beat my chest. I'm a disruptor.
Those machines are whirling property. But if it makes you feel any better, I'm not planning to sell them. It wouldn't hurt to get a little life in here. Other than the hellish karaoke machine. That one's always causing trouble.
Yeah, those numbers he's adding up must be making good sense to him right now. Sounds like he cares about the place. He's not going to be overjoyed to hear that it's part of the doomed commercial area. He should still know. You have to be forewarned about these things.
I have to warn you. I may have discovered the whirling is part of the doomed commercial area.
What? Why would you say that? We're at a completely different address from that whole thing.
He looks mildly startled.
So he knows of the doomed commercial area and its address. He's thought about this.
Wait, so you know of the curse?
Everyone knows of it.
The whirling is listed on the intercom outside as one of the businesses in Building B. You should get your wiring fixed. I tried to call and couldn't reach you.
I've been working here for a long time, and that intercom has never been used by the whirling.
Hold on, not once? Isn't that already a sign of decline?
It's a sign of the whirling in rags not being part of the doomed commercial area. If anything, we're revitalizing this neighborhood.
Relax, Mr. Gart. I'm sure there is no doom. He simply wants to share his discoveries with you.
The whirling was once the East Delta Pinball Arcade before it failed. It's only a matter of time before the whirling fails too.
Does this look like part of a doomed commercial area? This pre-revolutionary tilework, these high ceilings, the nice rooms, well, most of the rooms.
He makes a sweeping gesture.
For 14 years, man. That's how long I've worked here. I've kept this place up through hail and through sleet. Fuck me, some doom ghost.
He steadies his voice.
He's done a fine job too. Though he's spoken of the place dismissively before, the hostel is actually very important to him.
You really care about the whirling, huh?
Yeah. It's slowly growing on me again. It's beautiful in its own way. Especially for this neighborhood. I've been trying to keep it that way. Even if it is part of the damn doomed commercial area.
Aha! So you finally admit it.
Yes, your police skills have delivered. I'm sure you'll get a commendation. Maybe even a promotion.
And who owns this place?
Some real estate management company. They never come around here, just collect money from afar. Honestly, I think some money laundering might be involved.
And who named it Whirling in Rags?
Well, it sure as hell wasn't the real estate company.
It was you?
You look surprised. What? It's a great name, I know. Cafeteria managers come up with great names too. It's from a song.
A song?
Hail, Holy Queen, by the Athenians. Hail, Holy Queen of the Sea. You're whirling in rags, you're vast and you're sad.
Good pick.
What about the other cafeterias you manage?
What about them? One is a basement dive frequented by chain-smoking communists. I can't tell you how sick I am of Kraz Mazov and Ignis Nielsen and all those old ghosts.
He's hesitating, not sure if he should share this information with you. Encourage him.
And the others?
The other is a kebab cart. It's very successful in its way, but it's nothing like the whirling.
Let me see if there was anything else here. What about those other cafeterias you manage?
What about them? One is a basement.
He's hesitating, not sure if he should share this information with you.
He doesn't have to tell you anything. He doesn't want to.
Anyway, I thought we were talking about the whirling.
Well, good luck to you with this place then.
Luck has got nothing to do with it. I need to think about where I'm going to place those pinballs. I have a feeling they're going to help.
Against the doom, it's implied.
So, if you didn't have anything else to tell me about my establishment, can we, wrap it up?
There's a peephole in the wall.
What wall?
Upstairs in the secret back room, right next to Clausier's bedroom. I found it when I found the pinball machines.
I'll have it fixed at once. Thank you for letting me know. I assure you, the whirling does not abide spying on its guests.
What a shame to fix such a good peephole.
Couldn't you keep the hole there? What if there are some hotties staying in that room?
Absolutely not. That would be idiotic. I have no idea why you're even saying this right now.
In your defense, neither do I.
All right, you've been notified.
Thank you. I'll patch it up personally. Was there something else about the establishment? I hope not.
There's something else I want to ask about.
Yes?
Well, goodbye. All right, good. Let me talk to the cook now that I know a little bit more about the door, just to see if he has anything new for me.
The man ponders his cooking.
Nope. Nothing new. Let me see this guy, if he has anything for me.
Hi again, Gendarme.
So I still need a check here. I might try
Goodbye,
that a little
Gendarme.
later. I like to try and group up all my checks so that I can use one of the consumables that'll give me a boost and then try to run around and do them all. So I might organize that for next episode. But for now, let me talk to Titus.
It's you again. What is it?
He acknowledges you gruffly. Okay, I talked to Clausier. Now I need to talk to Ruby.
Why?
Because she's your real leader.
You're cuckoo, cop. I'm the only man responsible for this unit. Get with it, or fuck off.
His smile hides a flash of anger.
How many times must I tell you?
Yeah, fuck off!
I'm going to level with you. She's the next link in the chain that leads me to Lily's killer.
Sounds like you're making her a suspect in this. Not on my watch, you're not. Ruby's one of us. We're not gonna throw her under your moral intern steamroller. Fuck that shit.
And fuck you too, moral
He throws a glance at Titus as the last syllable leaves his lips. The big eye sighs.
Ruby is missing. If you hide from the police in a murder investigation, you become a suspect. You know how it works, guys.
That's nothing. That's just legalese. You don't even have a sound theory. I don't want to be rude, but we're trying to get some R&R here. Think you could fuck off now?
He crosses his arms.
I think we'll keep sticking around, Titus. You'll be surprised at how quickly a theory presents itself if you keep looking.
So my logic is 97% here. I saw the winch outside, staged like a play, reconstructed the murder scene, found antique rifle. Clausier gave the motive. Secret route found. Okay, so all those things are contributing to this. So let me present a solid theory about why Ruby could have done it.
A sudden flash of lightning in your neocortex. The hostel cafeteria is lit by its airy blaze. Floor plans, bullet trajectories, webs of human emotion. all channeled into a single thought.
Why are you so sure Ruby didn't off him?
Because she was here, all night, with us.
He's cobbling together shit so he can put her away. It's Cop 101.
She was here all night? 11:30 to 12:15? She was here during all that time?
The lieutenant ignores the tattooed man.
Yeah, with us, drinking, near the stage there.
She didn't go to the bar for a drink?
No.
In the whole 45-minute window, she was with you, all the time.
All right. She took a fucking leak, okay? For one moment. Maybe went out too. She has an operation to run from her lorry. We're not getting into what that operation is again, Cop.
He points to the intersection.
That's probably for the best. Don't break your stride now.
And just 'cause she was gone for 5 minutes doesn't mean she magically got to the roof and shot him. I've been through this. It's not plausible.
He taps on his temple.
All right, we're in. We got Ruby unaccounted for sometime during the window. This was crucial. Now let's place her on that roof. You got his attention. Now don't ruin it by making weird claims. Remember, you can still mess this up.
You do agree the shot came from the roof, right?
Why not? You can't draw a straight line into Clausia's window from any of the surrounding buildings. Not from what I know about Martinez. Maybe from the coast. But like I said, I've been too busy dealing with you idiots. So no, I don't think it was a sniper. It was close up.
He shakes his head. There's a 72% chance that the bullet came from the roof.
72%. There's a percentage and all. Where'd you get it from? Your guys in the lab?
I analyzed it on the spot. Turns out I can do that.
No, you can't. I know what you did here on the weekend. People talk. And what they say doesn't sound like a science call. You're a madman.
Those numbers were an ass pull, man.
Yeah, and they don't put her on the roof either. It's just mambo jumbo. He hasn't got shit.
Have you noticed the winch out back on the outer wall of the whirling?
I've seen the winch. I'm not blind. You saying she reeled herself up by her collar, like some kind of...
You can't come up with an analogy.
Kidding? Let's go with that. Point is, it's just a rusty winch. It doesn't put her on the roof.
There's a secret route in the kitchen that leads straight to the roof.
How?
He looks sincerely curious. Through what looks like an abandoned pinball workshop.
People say there was a pinball arcade here, sometime before the hostel. What was it called, Theo?
East Delta Pinball Arcade. Weird place. Went bankrupt.
Okay, but how'd you get up? There's no room for a staircase in this building. Or an elevator, for that matter.
The elevator is outside the building. It's an old dumbwaiter used for moving pinball machines up and down from the workshop.
From there, a door leads straight to the roof. You can just step outside.
Ruby could have gone up, shot him, come down. All under 7 minutes.
That's quite the theory. We need to have a look at that secret passage, boys.
He turns to Eugene.
I'm on it, boss. Right when the law clears, me and Angus are going up there.
It's a dumbwaiter, not an industrial lift. How about I go instead of...
Just now. You got something else to back this route up? Or is that it?
There were pinball machines in the workshop, still operational.
Right. What the fuck does that got to do with Ruby?
Nothing. I just thought we could bring some down. Get some new machines in here.
Wow, man, can we? I mean...
That'd be awesome. I beat that royalist machine 20 times now.
All right, all right. We can get the barman to bring them down. What else?
I also found footprints upstairs in the old workshop.
Footprints? Recent?
Recent. Well, recent. A week or two.
That close, huh? How fortunate. I'll take a thorough look at those prints myself before I believe that call. Good news is, I'm still listening.
I'm gonna skip this one. I generally don't skip dialogues, but I'm gonna skip this one. It's a little silly. Have we firmly established Ruby could have had access to the roof where the man was shot?
Firmly doesn't go well with could've. There's a route to the roof. Me and the boys need to check it out. That's what we've established. But a route does not put that bullet in his head. A gun does that, and Ruby doesn't carry one.
He forms a gun with his hand.
Phase 2. Murder weapon. Get a gun in her hand. If not that, then at least a shadow of a doubt. In the shape of a gun. Just don't contradict yourself. If it doesn't sound like Ruby did it, maybe keep it to yourself.
I have analyzed the bullets that killed him. It was jacketed.
So...
The man shrugs and looks at you.
So it had to come from a breech-loading rifle. Military grade. Not even you militia monkeys have those. This goes against your short-range theory. If the murder weapon was military grade, how did Ruby get it?
You don't know. Just be honest.
I'm gonna be upfront with what I know.
Right. That's mighty forthcoming of you. So, let me extend you the same courtesy. She's connected to you know what.
Organized crime. Down in Jamrock, probably. He's not being too forthcoming. This is not a surprise.
So she may have access to semi-automatics, but that's a long fucking stretch of the imagination.
I'm gonna show him the antique rifle. There are weapons like this just lying around in Martinez.
That looks antique. A Belle McGrave. It's inoperable. Where'd you get it?
There's a cellar under the bookshop. It was hidden there, with others just like it.
20, maybe 30 rifles, Titus. Also broken, but still, there were too many. And there must be other caches too.
God damn it. We need to close that dump down for good.
That's a goddamn breech loader, too. Find one that works, and you got a military-grade weapon that shoots jacketed ammunition.
He shakes his head.
He sees it. This is coming together. He must. Time to really close the deal. Show them the bullet.
This is the bullet that did it. 4.46 millimeters. The Belle McGrave uses the same caliber.
The blonde man looks at the mushroomed deathbringer in the evidence bag and says,
Yeah, the bitch is jacketed all right. 4 millimeter too.
Whoa.
Well, goddamn. It's not proof, but it's a possible murder weapon. Close to her. Too damn close.
His eyes follow the evidence bag in your pockets.
You have been thorough. I'll give you that.
Let me see what else. I've already established Ruby's running drugs. She could have smuggled guns too.
God damn. That's just about your favorite topic, isn't it? Every fucking 5 seconds.
Titus slaps his thigh.
You were warned not to bring it up. Your best shot here is to just back out of it.
Fine, Titus. I'm not getting into it if it touches you on your precious business.
Okay, cop. She's got connections. I could see how she could have access to a gun. That still doesn't mean she did.
That's all you needed. Doubt.
I'm gonna skip the other two just to keep the investigative line appropriate instead of taking it in every possible direction. I didn't say I'd prove she had the murder weapon, just that we need to find her.
All right. Keep talking. I'm getting a bit curious about some things myself.
He nods.
T, we're not seriously considering it, are we? Ruby wouldn't do this. Why would she do something like this?
Phase 3. Motive. The last component. The big one. Get this and they'll give her to you. Remember, don't piss him off. That never works.
Clausier told me some pretty interesting things about Ruby.
Yeah. Like what?
Sex. She wanted sex from her.
The big man falls absolutely silent. Behind his squinting eyes, dominoes are falling. Fast. It's all beginning to make sense to him now.
Yeah, but they're both girls.
The fat man looks up from the table, oblivious.
Girls like girls too, Angus, sometimes. This is one of those times. She liked Glacier.
Come on, guys. She hangs out with you, a bunch of meatheads. This cannot come as a surprise.
Yeah? No. Ruby's got more balls than a ball pit. You'd have to be an idiot not to... Guys, I'm not the only one who knew. Right?
He looks around.
Knew what? First he says she's murdered him. Now she's a too? It's a lie.
The man can't believe what he's hearing.
Come on, Glenn. She likes Monica's titties more than you do. Everyone knows which way the wind blows there.
The mask smiles.
I did. I knew it. That's why she didn't fuck me at Fatty's birthday party.
She didn't fuck you, 'cause you're 40, and you still live with your mom, Dennis.
Light laughter sounds off in the room. It feels nervous. Clausier said she made advances on her, and she thwarted them.
Ruby then threatened her and told her to end her relationship with the deceased.
This is some sordid shit. It's also the kind of garbage our Miss Aronier puts out to cover her own ass.
She just told us. Ruby made her scared, and she spilled the beans.
That Ruby is queer as cabaret. Now that I start thinking about it, I don't know why I didn't see it earlier.
He looks out the window pensively.
And that's okay. Some are queerer than others. You can still be a hardy. But if you bring your own personal shit into our outfit...
If that's the case, then it's not right. But it's not the case, right?
He looks at Titus, then Elaine.
There are many pieces that fit together that way, Eugene. Face it.
When Clausier came downstairs, Ruby appeared to know that something was wrong.
Nah, man. That's just Ruby. She's got shit under control. That's her whole thing. That's why she's so good.
The man explains.
Plus, man, it's like female intuition. You know, women talk to women. Which is sort of why we need someone on the team who they talk to.
Eugene wants a woman on the team so they can do their job. That must be hard. Half of Martinez is female.
Or she knew what happened, because she killed him.
Not so useful.
Titus looks at Elaine, then Eugene.
Fucking hell.
The blonde man is in some kind of anguish that makes him stare into the garlic bread bowl intently.
Betrayal is not painless. Even the doubt of it hurts.
Let me see what I want to say here. It's not why did she kill him, it's why did she organize the cover-up.
And I suppose you have a theory about that too, cop.
She could have just been covering up for herself, Titus.
Think about it. Why go through all that effort? It was her idea, wasn't it? The hanging. You went along, but she suggested it.
She had, like, a fully formed plan and shit. Right when she came back downstairs.
The little man squints, eyes beady.
Really, Shanks? Clausia wanted to talk to another girl, that's all. She was just the first one up there. I could have come up with that plan if I'd have been first.
Time for a logics demonstration.
Titus, let's assume you... Well, no, let me go with Shanky. Shanky, let's assume you killed him.
I didn't do it, fucker. It wasn't my plan.
You probably did, though.
It's just a thought experiment. Think, Shanky. You killed him. You got up there, shot him, cut down.
Would you prefer to go on trial with your buddies, as part of a lynch mob, or alone for committing murder?
Fuck you, man. I would never fuck my guys over like that. Especially for some bird.
He squeaks with indignation.
She didn't either. She would never do that. Why aren't more of you defending her? This is fucking stupid, Titus.
The blonde man looks around.
Glenn, I thought the same thing when she skipped town and left us in this shit.
Titus looks grim.
Oh, so he didn't rule her out completely. And she skipped town. This is good.
Titus, you have to see it. Things don't add up. We need to talk to her.
Silence. He looks around the room. The old man in the corner nods. A very small nod. And a trickle of tobacco spit on his lip. This is the only option he cares for.
Yeah, I see it. There's one more thing I've been wondering about. Ever since you asked me where she is. Add it to your list of suspicions, if you want.
He puts his beer down.
I don't know. I don't know where she went. She just got up and left. Got real scared, too. Wouldn't tell me where. However hard I asked. Want to know why?
Why?
She was afraid I would tell you. Maybe she was right. By now, I probably would.
She knew there's evidence on her, and she knew we'd find it. This is typical suspect behavior, why fleeing is always incriminatory.
Perhaps. Ask her if you find her. It won't be easy, though. She made sure of that.
When did she leave?
Friday afternoon, when you first arrived. I got word the RCM was in town. Then she came in to see me. Told me she was leaving. That's when we had our little conversation.
What was she scared of?
I told you. You.
Me personally?
Yes, you. The cop with the sideburns and the disco clothes.
And a hole in his heart. That first.
And the hole in his heart.
Why not? You suck on that gun like someone tore you a brand new asshole.
Don't forget the funny tie, too.
How can I forget?
He nods at your tie.
You and I are going to dance in the moonlight under a billion stars.
You know, when I first saw you limp in here, I thought she was paranoid or sniffing her own supply. But now I'm not so sure.
What else did Ruby tell you about me?
She said you have a funny taste in clothes and that you won't stop.
He scoffs.
Until you have something on her. She said she's heard of you from Jamrock, that you're a human can opener, that you play suspects against each other, open them up like cans.
Fucking hell. Titus, did he just...
The tattooed man shakes his head.
Open Angus up like a can? Yes, he did. Now, we can whine about it, whack him, or we can go on with our lives. I'm having a go on with our lives kind of day, Al. How about you?
It's not an actual question. Silence. He nods.
Is that true, Kim? Am I a can opener?
You are insistent.
Anything else? Anything?
Yeah, there was something else. She wouldn't tell me, though. I could see she wanted to. It was burning on her lips. This called Titus. This called Pete. But she was too scared.
Do you have any clues on where Ruby went?
She's not far. We know that much. She didn't take her lorry, so she's on foot.
Good fucking luck, man. She knows this place like the back of her hand. You'll never find her.
Yeah, Al. And we won't either.
She's not really a hardy candidate anymore, is she?
The man stares into his beer.
She's not, Glenn.
Have you looked for her?
A little. On the coast.
Where have you looked for her, more precisely?
More precisely, on the coast, past the waterlock. She's not here, so I'm thinking she's there.
He nods southwest. Can you tell me where on the coast I should start looking?
Sure. There's some shit houses there. A cinderblock town. Fisherfolk there refuse to unionize. So, that's one place we haven't looked. I hear they have a shack where junkies sometimes crash. Time for you to step up.
We will start there. One more question. What does Ruby look like?
Boyish. Hair's red. Dyed. She looks like a Lowry man.
Do you know what she's doing with Ulan frequencies?
The what now? I have no idea. Boys?
He looks around.
She said she's building a pale emitter.
His voice is very quiet.
What?
We were talking about radio equipment. She said she's doing Ulan frequencies and a pale something. I don't know more.
This guy barely understands what he's talking about.
There you have it. Pale something.
Titus puts an end to it.
It feels like you'll get to know soon enough.
It's not much, but it'll do.
It'll have to.
He puts his hand out. I'm gonna shake it.
His grip is firm and reassuring, like holding a piece of unpolished granite. Not just granite, tightly packed RCM Sergeant material.
You should be a cop, Titus.
When are you gonna get it through your dumb head? I already am. I just wasn't sure you were.
He scoffs.
And he still isn't. People aren't afraid of good cops in the way Ruby was afraid of you, he thinks, then turns back to his men.
All right, my friends, a lot has happened this episode, and this is a great stopping point. I will certainly pick it up where we left off in the next one, so thanks as always for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for stopping by the Renaissance Gaming Monastery. I hope you join our community on Discord and Twitter. These videos are produced with a lot of hard work and love. If you think they're worth $1, I'd be grateful for your contribution. You can send a thanks donation or become a member on YouTube. You can also support through PayPal, Patreon, or even with cryptocurrency. All links are in the description. See you on the next video.